Good afternoon and welcome to Brunel University London's Environmental Management MSc webinar. I now have pleasure in introducing Dr Abdul J.Chaudhary.
Hello everybody, my name is Abdul J.Chaudhary, and before I will start talking about our MSc program in Environmental Management, I would like to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a chemist and I have done my PhD from City University London many years ago. And apart from teaching, I do a lot of research work on the development of clean and clean up technologies. Basically, what I do is I look at various industrial processes and I look at the waste, both liquid and solid, which is coming out. And I develop techniques to find out if we can remove some hazardous materials or some valuable materials to have a closed loop system so we can recycle those materials back into the system. Currently, I have 5 PhD students, and one of my PhD students, Thomas Fudge, he has won various national awards, and you can find out more about his research work by visiting Brunel University website. So coming back to our MSc Environmental Management program, I designed this program, and currently I'm leading this program as well. So over the next 10 or 15 minutes, I'm going to tell you about the title of this MSc program, intake and delivery, the structure of the program, assessment, what we use, timetable, and final award. Now, the title of this MSc program is Environmental Management. And it's a standard MSc with 180 credits. And the duration is, depending on your start, if you will start in September, it's 12 months. But if you're going to start in January, it is going to be 15 months. But the second program is Environmental Management, and within the bracket, Professional Development. And this is an enhanced MSc, which consists of 240 credits instead of 180. And the duration is 18 months, which means that you will complete your standard MSc within 12 months. And then you need to have 6 months professional development, where you'll be working with various industries to develop your professional skills. And we have only one intake for this professional development, which is in September. So you cannot start this professional development MSc in January. Both of these programs are accredited by CIWM, which is Chartered Institution of Water and Environmental Management, and the Institution of Environmental Sciences. So what are the aims? The main aim is to provide knowledge and understanding in the scientific principles of environmental practices, which leads with environmental and legislation aspects of the environment. And basically what we are going to do is we are going to give you knowledge and understanding of various techniques which you can use to take representative samples from environmental compartments, basically air, water samples, and soil samples. And you can actually use different analytical techniques in our lab to find out quantitatively what is present and how much is present. And the next one is that you will be able to develop both clean and clean up technologies in order to have a sustainable development, which means that you will be able to develop a closed loop system where the materials will be recycled and reused. Now, in order to achieve the aims and objectives, the main thing is that we are going to reduce the emissions to air, water, and land. And to achieve this aim, the program has 3 themes. The first one is chemical risk assessment and management, and we use this abbreviation CRAM. The second theme is environmental pollution and monitoring, and the abbreviation we use for this theme is EPM. And the third theme is clean technology and the environment, which is CTE. Now, if you are going to start in September and you register onto our MSc 12 months, so the term 1 will start in September, so it will finish in December, so you will complete 60 credits. And then in January, when you will come back after Christmas break, you will have your exams and assessment. Then you will start your second term in January, and then you will finish in March. And then in April, you will have Easter break. And then in May, you are going to have your examination. And then in term 3, which will start in June to September, you will have your placement and you will be working on your dissertation. And then you will be graduating in December. But if you are going to start our second MSc program, which is Environmental Management with Professional Development, that is an enhanced MSc, consists of 240 credits, 18 months. Basically, you will do the same thing, but in June, you will have a very long 6-month professional development. And you'll be working on portfolio, which is an additional 60 credits assessment. And then you will be working on your dissertation, which is also 60 credits, and that will give you a total of 240 credits, and you will be graduating in July. But you can also start this program only the standard MSc, which is 180 credits in January. So you will join us in January, you will complete your term 2, then you will have your break in April, and there's going to be examination in May. And then you will have a long break, between June and September, and then you will be working on your placement and dissertation. You will come back and you will be completing your term 1 from September till December, and then you will have your exam. But you have additional 3 months to complete your dissertation. So that's why if you are going to start your program in January, the program consists of 15 months instead of 12 months, and you will be graduating in July. Now this red double line indicates that where you will be applying for your professional development or placement. So what's the structure of this program? Let's talk about our standard MSc program, which is 180 credits. So depending on the start, it will be either 12 months or 15 months. This is here you have term 1 and term 2. You'll be completing your 120 credits, and it's a third part of the program. So 90 credits are compulsory. And then there are 30 credits. You will select one theme, either GRAM, EPM, or CTE, which consists of 30 credits. And that will give you a total of 120 credits. Then in term 3, you'll be working on a dissertation project related to your theme. It could be either risk management, it could be related to environmental monitoring, or clean or cleanup technologies. We have 2 exit points here, depending on your credits. So if you achieve 60 credits, you can get PG cert in environmental management. And if you achieved 120 credits, you will get environmental management, and you can leave the program. But in order to get your master's, you need to complete your dissertation, which is additional 60 credits, and that will give you a total of 120 credits. If you are registered onto our enhanced MSc, which is MSc in Environmental Management with Professional Development, you need to have, it's quite competitive, you need to have a preparation stage, which you need to pitch your idea to various organizations. We work with Environment Agency currently, and you'll be working over there for 6 months, either on management aspects of the environmental management, monitoring, and developing clean and cleaner technologies. And that is an additional 60 credits. So that will give you a total of 240 credits. Now let's look at the structure. We have 90 credits compulsory. And the first one is a modular block, environmental management and legislation, and the weighting is 30 credits. Then the second one is a study block. It's a strategic sustainable development, 15 credits. Then climate change and planetary health, 15 credits. And research and analytical skills, which is 30 credits. So these 90 credits are compulsory for every student. Then you have an option. You can select either chemical risk assessment and management, or environmental pollution and monitoring, or clean technology and the environment, 30 credits each. The next is education, which is compulsory for everybody, and then the portfolio, which is only compulsory for professional development. So the assessment, if we look at the 90 credits here, so we have the first modular block, which is 30 credits, environmental management and legislation. Then we have all these 3 study blocks. Now, these 2 study blocks have an integrated assessment. So you will be assessed. So that's why this 15 plus 15 will give you a total of 30 credits. And it has a different title, Sustainable Development and Planetary Health. So these 2 study blocks will be assessed, combined. And then we have this study block, which will have its own assessment. So the assessment is 50% exam for this module, environmental management and legislation, and 50% coursework. Here you have 50% exam and 50% coursework. And coursework has 2 elements, 20% individual report, and then 25% individual report and 25% case studies. Then the next one is 100% coursework, there is no exam. If we look at the optional block, 3 themes, they have very consistent assessment, all 100% coursework. It's just 1 individual report, which will be 4,000 words. It's a very critical analysis of whatever project you are going to select. And if we look at the total assessment load for each of the themes, you will have 2 exams and 6 coursework. And the 6 pieces have 4 individual reports and 2 presentations. So they're quite consistent. It doesn't really matter which theme you are going to select. You will have 2 exams and 6 pieces of coursework. Now this is a timetable. If you look at the timetable, there's going to be 2 days teaching, but it doesn't mean that you are going to have free time. Monday is designed for site visits. So during your program, you will have at least 6 to 7 different site visits where you will be going and looking at practitioners working on environmental management. Then Tuesday is a full teaching day. Wednesday, you will be working on your professional development, and we have research seminars where we expect all students to attend those seminars. Thursday is a full teaching day, and then Friday is going to be independent learning. So this is your term 1, and you will complete 60 credits in term 1. In term 2, you will select your theme. So Tuesday is going to be the theme, Monday and afternoon. And then again, Thursday, you'll be having your 2 additional modules which are going to run. For example, in term 1, we will be focusing on environmental management, and in term 2, it will be going to be environmental legislations. And you will complete your 60 credits. So 60 plus 60 will give you a total of 120 credits. And then you will be working on your dissertation in term 3. So depending on your grades, you can either get a standard MSc, an MSc with merit, an MSc with a distinction. So it all depends on what your grade. So if you have all A's or B's, you will be able to get your MSc with a distinction. And thank you very much for your attention. So if you have any questions, I'll be very happy to answer any of your questions.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Abdul J.Chaudhary, for such an interesting presentation. You're now all welcome to put forward your questions. Okay, thank you. The first question has come through. So this person would like to know when the closing date is for the January applications.
It's in December. So late December, because university will be closing down for Christmas, I think around between 15th of December. So ideally, you should actually apply if you are planning to start this program in January. I expect you to apply online before 15th of December.
Thank you. Another question has come through to say, could you talk a little bit more detail about the Strategic Sustainable Development module, please? Yeah,
that module is specifically designed to give you information about sustainable development. Because if you look at the definition of sustainable development, there are so many different definitions. But what we do is we focus on 3 different systems. We look at the the environmental system, we look at the social system, and we look at the economic system. So it is just like looking at an equilateral triangle. Currently, what we do is when we develop anything, we focus only on economic gain, and that is not a professional or professionally sustainable development. So what we do is we focus on the environmental accounts of the company and the social and the economic as well. So this approach is called a triple bottom line approach. So whatever we do, whether it's a chemical process or we are going to design a product, we need to make sure that it is not going to do any harm to the environment, and we need to comply with the social sustainability principles as well, in addition to economic gain. And this is what you will be learning as part of this module.
Thank you. Our next question is, if I take the environmental pollution route, is it more laboratory focused?
Absolutely. So what you will be, if you are going to take this, we expect you to have some background in chemistry, up to A level. The reason for that is this stream will take you to at least 4 or 5 different practicals in the lab. So what we are going to do is we are going to collect samples, whether it's going to be water samples or solid samples from different environmental compartments. You are going to bring those samples back into our very well-equipped labs, and you are going to do the preparation, and then we are going to use a number of analytical techniques to find out quantitatively, first of all, what is present. So that is, we will use X-ray fluorescence, X-ray diffraction, and that is not a quantitative analysis. Once we know what is present, the second stage of analysis is that we would like to find out how much. So we are going to use either atomic absorption or HPLC or any other quantitative technique. So this, if you are going to take this route, we expect you to put a lot of lab work.
Okay, thank you. Our next question is about the dissertation, and this person would like to know, is the dissertation based on primary data or secondary data?
Both, in fact. So it is entirely your choice, whether you would like to work on a secondary data, and we expect you to critically evaluate using different methodologies the data which is already available, secondary data, on a project of your choice. But if you are going to select a primary data, we expect you to clearly define whether you will be working in a lab or you will be doing just like an interview or questionnaire, and how you are going to collect your primary data. So both. It depends on your own choice.
Okay, thank you. And this question is about the site visits. What are the site visits, and are they compulsory?
They are actually compulsory. So what you will do is we will take you to different sites where practitioners are working. In terms of, for example, we do waste management site. We will take you to incineration. We will take you to landfill site. We will take you to wastewater treatment or water treatment site, where you will be looking at first-hand experience of how people are working, and you will be able to ask questions that how this technology will work and what are the benefits compared to any alternative technology. So there are going to be 6 or 7 site visits every year, and they are compulsory.
Okay, and the next question is about fees. How much are the fees, and is there any funding or scholarships available?
Yes, there are actually some scholarships available, quite competitive. So you really need to look at our website and apply for those, but they are not fully funded. They are a part of it, I think, basically 3,000 or 4,000 pounds. And the fees for home students is something like 9,200 and 250 and 15,000. For overseas is 15,000, for home it is 9,000. But you will be able to apply for funding, especially for home students, and it's not fully funded, but it's something like 4,000 pounds.
Okay, next questions come in. How will the placement work?
The placement is going to be, currently we have an agreement with Environment Agency. So depending on your project, whether it's related to management or whether it's related to monitoring or clean technology, it's quite competitive. Every year we have more or less 35 projects with with Environment Agency. And most of our students who will join Environment Agency, they will carry on working on the same project. Either they will have a full-time job or they will start doing their PhDs. But in addition to Environment Agency, we have links with various organizations, and we actually get in touch with them and find out if there are any projects available. So the student will have some understanding right at the start of their MSc, the projects which are available, and then you will be contacting the various organizations to make sure that when you apply, you will have this work placement. So for a standard MSc, the work placement is going to be very short, which is going to be only 3 months. But we expect you to link your work placement with your dissertation project.
Okay, another question has come through. What is the ratio of taught research aspects of the course?
The total pod is 120 credits. So you will be completing 90 credits, which are compulsory, and 30 credits linked to your theme. So that will give you 120. And 60 credits are your dissertation. So it's a 120 total pod and 60 dissertation. That will give you a total of 180 credits. And when we define credits, we expect you to work for 10 hours for each credits. Now, these 10 hours are not going to be direct face-to-face interaction with your lecturer. Maybe it's going to be only, let's say, 30 to 40 hours face-to-face teaching, and we expect you to work independently. So you will be given a lot of coursework, and we expect you to work independently as a group or on your own to have at least a 3 credit 10 hours. So it's a 120 total pod plus 60 dissertation. Now you have my email. If you have any further questions after looking at the program specification or module outline on our websites, you are most welcome to contact me through my email, and I'll be very happy to answer any of your questions. And again, thank you very much for your attention.
Okay, thank you for attending our webinar. I hope you found it interesting and informative, and we hope that we'll be seeing you soon at Brunel University London.